Hey, this is going to be my second foray into talking about UBI, and I want to talk about what it means for community development, and a little bit about whether it's a socialist or whether it's a capitalist sort of creation. And my contention is it's both. We'll get to that in a minute. I want you to imagine a coal mining town, say in Appalachia, right? Kind of town where the jobs have all left, and people are barely scraping by. The town is half empty. It's everybody's poor. Nobody has an awful lot of hope. And I want you to go through this little thought experiment with me. Now imagine everybody who lives in that town gets UBI, the way I said, about $500 a week, but they're expected to work if they're not working already. They're expected to contribute, right? So this is a town that has a lot of problems. Okay, the infrastructure is not there. The housing stock, for instance, there's a lot of abandoned homes that people that have been left behind that are now basically the property of the town. It's their problem. They're a little bit dilapidated. So here's what the opportunity to this kind of system would create is now you have these guys who maybe are good with their hands. They're out of work. You say, as a town, hey, all right, you're getting your pay, and what we're going to do as a town is we're like the neighborhood association. We're the social mecca where you're going to find work to do in your community in order to qualify to get this universal basic income program. And we have all this housing stock, right, in this town, and it's dilapidated and no one wants to buy it. Well, let's fix it up. So you got people working. They're fixing up the town. The town's looking better. There's a lot of housing that is now the property of the town in saleable condition because people have fixed it up, right? The people in the town have money to spend because they're making an income. Now you've got the next town over, a bigger city, right? And there's housing there is quite expensive, and then a lot of people on the low end of the economic spectrum can't afford to buy a home, or maybe even barely can afford to make rent. They're starting to get this UBI as well, but rents are quite a bit higher, right, than what that UBI can accommodate. You would need to be making twice as much money. Well, now they can look around and say, hey, I can go to that small town up the road. I can still make basically this almost the same amount of income, through UBI. For now, there may not be any, jobs in the economy, but I'll at least get the UBI. And with that UBI, I can afford to buy one of these new houses that have just been, fixed up. I'll have my own place. I can buy it from the county on a land contract. So all of a sudden there's new people moving into this small town. With those new people, you've got people who've lived there now starting to see more activity going on. Now here's a couple of guys, and they've been sharing a place for a while to save money because they didn't have any money before. Now they've got extra money because of the UBI. And they look around their small, dying town, and they're saying, hey, there's more people here now, and we're all sick of traveling 30 miles each way to go to the grocery store. So me and my friends now have this extra money. We're going to buy some good used refrigerators, and there's a spot over here where we can put a grocery store, and let's do this. Let's open it. And because of the UBI, as they're opening the grocery store, they're still getting income, right? They're not like one of the biggest barriers to the entrepreneurial spirit, right, is how am I going to survive until I start making money, if you don't have enough money to keep your to situate yourself and pay your employees and cover your overhead for several months while you're trying to get a business up and running, you're lost, right? You're already behind the eight ball. And what this sort of UBI system could do is unleash the entrepreneurial spirit in America, where people have that opportunity because they're still getting paid as they're building their business, because the minimum wage is now gone, so they can offer people a little bit over UBI, but not much, but enough to motivate them to work for them. And the promise of, hey, as we build this business, you're going to be rewarded for this too. You kind of have that ability to build something from very little to start with. And I think that's a wonderful thing, both for, for people's freedom, for people's to motivate people to try new things, to build something. It should only be the people who have that kind of huge amount of financial backing who are in a place to have a chance to build something cool. Let's open up the doors. Let's give people a chance to build something in their towns and make the world around them a better place. I would. They used to have the phrase called "a nation of shopkeepers" when this country first came around. We've kind of gotten away from that. Now it's a nation of corporations. It would probably be a great thing if we could become a nation of shopkeepers again. Because the way I see it, once you take away those barriers to entrepreneurism and the barriers to starting up a business and a company, by giving people that ground level of support that they need in order to be able to do it. Now, why can't we start manufacturing TVs in this country again? Why can't we start manufacturing, you name it, everything that we're importing right now could be manufactured once again in the United States if we play our cards right, if we give people that base level of support that they need to operate a business without going deeply in the red. And then once they start making money, they're going to pay more taxes, a lot more taxes. It's going to be really hard to become a billionaire, really, really hard. But I think the fun part is in building the business, right? Are we here to have fun? Is it just piling up money, or do we want to enjoy ourselves? So I think and that's why I say it's both socialism and it's capitalism. It's socialism in that you give people the security that they need to be capitalists. Yes, essentially, you give people the ability to take care of themselves without a lot of stress and dream. And when people can dream, amazing things can happen. We can build this back better, smarter, faster. Hope you like that. Thanks.